Hey crew, I've got the key to this 22 Mercedes-AMG EQS 53 4MATIC Plus. A lot of letters and numbers to tell you. You're looking at the range-topping all-electric sedan from Mercedes, and we are going to take it for a drive. But first, let's check out how it looks on the inside and outside. On the exterior, not a ton to tell. You're looking at the AMG version, but you do have the Panamericana style vertically slotted grille with AMG signature right here. A lot of black gloss treatment around the vehicle and some unique sculpting for the corner vents, which are of course fake. You've got that digital light and the light bar running across the top of the grille. This paint job is called Cardinal Red. It's got a metallic flake on the paint surface. Getting to the side, big upgrade here compared to that 450 I showed you guys with those, what were they, 19-inch wheels. Now we've got 22s in this really cool design. You got black on the inside and then a brushed metal surface on the outside. And they're wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport tires, 275 section, front and rear. The only downside to this cool wheel design is that they kind of cover up the optional carbon ceramic brakes, which are painted in gold here. Those will be fun to tap into when we're driving out. More black gloss around the windows, and then that lower portion there. And man, the wheels really help the profile of this vehicle. Still think the front is funky even on the AMG model, but the profile looks so much better with wheels. Getting to the back, my favorite view on the EQS. I like that light bar running across the till. You now have a more pronounced trunk lip spoiler here, and you get an AMG specific diffuser down low with these 6 fins in the gloss black treatment. Now, despite these aerodynamic changes, which actually introduce drag, it still has a drag coefficient of 0.23, which is excellent. Narrowly worse than the 450 at 0.20, and that's why it looks like a bean. Now let's check out that interior. Opening up and looking inside, we have the exclusive black Nappa leather on this model. Yes, real leather, not leatherette like that 450. You can feel the difference. Perforations look great. The seat designs with the stitching also looks better than the seashell in the 450. You still have your poofy pillows. There's gray and black on the door panels with carbon fiber trim. That's beautiful. With heated and ventilated rear seats, your Burmester speaker covers in metal. Stepping in, we'll find suede on the pillars and headliner with your 2 sunroofs. And a standard on the AMG model hyper screen, 56 inches of screen real estate from 3 defined screens. That right one is not on because no one's sitting in that passenger seat. 4-zone climate control is standard on this model. With the rear seat comfort package, you get a tablet for these rear passengers and wireless smartphone charging in here. Now I am sitting behind my own seating position at 6 feet tall, and I've got plenty of knee room. Foot pockets are nice and large. The batteries are on the floor, so it does raise up your knee angle, so I don't have quite the thigh support I would in like an S-Class, but my headroom is good. I clear the roof. Not a lot, but I do clear the roof. And check this out. You've got assisted rear doors, so you just kind of tap on it, and it'll close it the rest of the way. In the front, we find heated, ventilated, and massaging seats. Those controls are here on the door. That ambient lighting looking strong, even in the sunlight. Carbon fiber around the window switches looks good. Moving inside, one of the biggest changes on the AMG model is this thicker perforated at 9 3 and flat bottom wheel design with the controllers that are reconfigurable on the left-hand side, and on the right is your drive mode. You get a unique skin on the gauge cluster and infotainment for AMG, and that carbon fiber on the tunnel is just beautiful. Inside is wireless smartphone charging, and then down low is tons of storage, and including more deep storage in the center console. And up top, you've got a touch-sensitive controller for your sunroof. Yeah, this is a stunning cabin, especially relative to the other EVs in the segment. I'm ready. Let's take it for a drive. All right, let's fire it up, which we actually have a button to do. Ooh, and a very futuristic startup noise. I know that is specific to AMG. And the hyper screen has booted up for us. I'm going to throw it in reverse by clicking up on the selector here, and that brings up our 360 view, which I don't know whether this is actually useful or not, but it is cool. And now let's back it on out. And I've left it in quiet mode for right now, but I will go through these different sound modes with up to 9 degrees of rear wheel steer. This is what you get. The zaniest turning radius. This is a big sedan, and it just basically pivoted on its rear axle. We have the same 108 kilowatt per hour battery pack that you get in the 450 and in the 580. We use the dual motor setup from the 580, but now we're making 629 horsepower and 700 pound-feet of torque sent to all 4 wheels. It's an intelligent all-wheel drive system. Can shuttle power to the front and rear axle up to 100% at a moment's notice. And now I say 629 horsepower, but that's just normally. You can, in certain times, unlock the full 751 horsepower and 752 pound-feet of torque, which we will no doubt do at some point during our drive. And I've started us out in comfort drive mode, but ooh, there's going to be a red light up there, so I'm going to go on over to Sport Plus. Now that already changed it up. It gave us the powerful soundtrack. I want to get up here, race start, and oh, that like a wave of power, like the car sounded, which sounded freaking cool. That's what I just experienced from behind the wheel. Goodness gracious. Oh, and the mid-range is sensational. The future's cool, guys. It's official. The future is cool. Holy cow. Oh, gravy, that is quick. That is so addictive. The way this car hurtles forward and that AMG performance sound that is unique to this vehicle relative to the 450 and 580, just hand in hand. I'm turning off recuperation, by the way. We have 3 stages of energy recuperation. I've got none right now, so when I take my foot off, we're using all of that aerodynamic sculpting to just coast along. But we are in an uphill. Keep that in mind for the launch that we just did. And for these acceleration blasts, if you saw the BMW M240i drive that I did, I'm heading into the same road here. And so it's going to be a good time. I'm going to turn back on the recuperation. I'm actually going to go to strong. And that's going to give us the assistance of every time I take my foot off the throttle, the car will already be slowing us down. Oh, I can already tell this is going to be a good time. Okay, so we've got the regen takes a second to kick in, but we do have carbon ceramic brakes. And I've been driving the car a little bit, so they're fairly warm. Just the instant power out of the corners and the stability you feel from the rear wheel steering system, these adaptive dampers, the AMG specific electronic active anti-roll bars. The brake pedal feel is still funky to me because it's doing some of the braking for you. It's taking the pedal and sort of assisting where you would naturally find the pedal if you were doing all the braking yourself, if you didn't have braking regeneration. So that's odd. That takes a second to get used to. But when you get into the pedal, the stopping power is there. There's no plow. The 4MATIC all-wheel drive system doing its job, shuttling that electric power in fractions of a second. And then just out of corners, my goodness. What a blast. You do get used to the car pretty quickly. and you learn where you can push it and where you can't. And the short story is, you can push it pretty darn well, as long as you're not going over rocks like that back patch. What a hoot. Yeah, those brakes, when you get on them, when you get your foot into that pedal, really clamp down and shrug off all of this weight. I want more feel from that steering. That's what I want. Having flipped it around and sending it downhill now, we're not going to do this vehicle any favors. We're going to require more of the Palette Sports, more of the brakes, and we're going to usher the 5,000-ish pounds into uncomfortable situations. But we also get more speed. Yeah, again, the regen takes a second to kick in, so you can't rely on it to pull you down immediately, as I was anticipating, before you have to get into the brake pedal. You gotta give it a second, and then it slows you down. And in performance environments like that, it's certainly not a one-pedal driving experience. You're using that brake, but the side-to-side movements are impressive for the weight on tap here. It's just so low that it just scoots there. The rocks, it just scoots over instead of sloshing over, giving you body roll, which body roll, guys, I want to be clear, body roll is sometimes communication, and that's something that we're missing out a little on this, of having effectively no body roll. I'm missing some communication, that and the steering being what it is. But the limits, the performance capability of this EQS AMG is astounding. Now, we did a launch going uphill, so I feel it's only fair that we do one going downhill. You do it the same way, Sport Plus, hold your foot on the brake, gas, okay. Oh, am I laughing harder than I did the first time? Maybe because I actually gave the vehicle a chance to do its proper launch. And guys, that's an experience. That felt like I was on a roller coaster, and it was actually preparing to launch the coaster. If I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm just making this up, it felt like it shook the vehicle a little bit before it actually launched. And along with that sound, I feel like this may be the first vehicle that has launch control that actually feels like you're launching. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm so glad I did it a second time. That is freaking awesome. And the fact that you can do that so easily, just going to Sport Plus and then just doing the brake gas thing, means you could do it any time. And as long as people are a little patient with you, when the light goes green, you could do it to just 40 miles per hour or 50 miles per hour. Mercedes-AMG says that with the race start, you'll get to 60 in 3.4 seconds. I would be shocked if the average of just what we did uphill and downhill was not quicker than that. This is a very feisty automobile. I like it. But it can't always be fun and games in the AMG EQS. You need to drive it around town sometimes. So I'm going to take it out of Sport Plus, which, by the way, the ride quality, even in Sport Plus, was excellent from those adaptive dampers and the Airmatic, I think it's called Airmatic, air suspension system. I don't know, they've got a special marketed name for it. But now we're in comfort drive mode. And while we're in comfort drive mode, we might as well address the range, which Mercedes-AMG has not quoted yet for this vehicle. They also haven't announced the price officially. But the range from the 450 Plus was on paper 350 miles. Real world, I got like 400 miles. And the, 580 is like 340 miles. I'm guessing it would be real world like 380, 390. So this one even if it's just a range of like 250, then I think real world, you're looking at over 300 miles of range. And that would be very respectable with the performance that you have on tap and for pretty much all the ways that you would use a vehicle. 300 miles of range is a really solid sweet spot for most folks in most environments. And I think if Mercedes-AMG can pull that out here, they've got to win. But as a daily driver, this is pretty sweet. The seats are super comfortable. You've got your heating, your ventilation, your massage, the quietness of the cabin now with the sound turned all the way off, with the insulation, with the acoustic laminate on the glass. This is just serene motoring. I'm just going to rudely interrupt myself for a moment because after I concluded the video, I forgot that I didn't do any highway driving. So here we are on the highway. I've turned off braking regeneration, so when I take my foot off the throttle, we really do coast, like totally coast. And I'm also going to engage the active safety features. You hit the on-off button here, and you set your speed. And then when I take my hands off the wheel, it stays perfectly in the center of the lane, even working with curvatures in the road. We also have things like lane change assist, so you just indicate left, and if it's got a gap, it'll do the lane change for you. And just like on the street, the cabin is so well insulated at highway speeds, it satisfies the luxury requirement just as well as it does the AMG specific performance element. But I also want something to be kept in mind. They're calling this the 53. And with Mercedes-AMG vehicles, you look at the history and they've got a 53 and then they've got a 63. So if you're unsatisfied with the 751 horsepower available to you at your questionable price, 135 I'm estimating, then you'll probably be satisfied with the 900 plus horsepower that we can almost certainly expect from a 63 model. Just want to put that out there. But let's back it up. What would 135,000 buy you relative to this odd segment of somewhat premium vehicles? This is, I would say, full-on luxury within that segment. You've got the Tesla Model S Plaid. That's about 131,000 to start. Yeah, it makes gobs more power. I think it's like 1,002 horsepower or something like that. The 0 to 60 for that is 2.1 seconds. It is stupidly quick off the line. Then you've got the Lucid Air Dream, and that one is $170,000 to start. So that would probably be more lined up with the price that we can expect for the 63 version of the EQS AMG. That one makes 1,111 horsepower. It gets to 60 in 2.5 seconds. So both the Model S Plaid and the Lucid Air Dream would embarrass this car to 60. And both, I would say, look a little better on the exterior. Is the interior of the Lucid Air better than this? I haven't spent much time in that vehicle yet, so I can't really compare. But I can say that the interior of this car is phenomenal. The Hyperscreen is really solid. The ride quality is excellent. The performance is fun. It's really, really fun. Not just in a straight line, also in a corner. I'm excited about this car. I'm even more excited about getting my face torn off by a 63 version, but the 53s are not always wins in AMG's lineup. It's an absolute win, if you ask me, in this lineup. Well, I go... couldn't even conclude it. I was going to conclude it, but then I brain farted real hard. Guys, if you've enjoyed this POV drive review, please like, comment, and share the video. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell to get notified, and I will see you again next time.